Everyone thinks getting a personality is hard, reserved for extroverts or the lucky few born interesting. But getting a personality is easy, actually, isn't just a bold claim. It's a method Ivy League admissions officers are already using to pick future leaders, and it starts with a single weird interest. So why does all the usual advice fail? And what's the real first step? Most personality advice reads like an extrovert's instruction manual. Open any self-help book, and it's the same chorus. Just be yourself. Speak up more. Fake it till you make it. For anyone who's not a natural social butterfly, this isn't just unhelpful. It's exhausting. There's a reason for that. The entire personality industry, from viral quizzes to best-selling guides, is built around the idea that being outgoing and loud is the only way to be interesting. Call it extrovert propaganda. The message is clear. If you're not the life of the party, you're doing it wrong. Take online personality tests, the Myers-Briggs, the Enneagram, all those color-coded quizzes. They promise to unlock your true self with a few clicks. But dig into the research, and you'll find they're about as scientific as a horoscope. Most have zero predictive value, and the people who design them rarely agree on what personality even means. Meanwhile, the advice that comes with your result is always the same. Network more, be more assertive, put yourself out there. For introverts or anyone who prefers listening over talking, this is a recipe for imposter syndrome, not confidence. The real problem? These scripts ignore the fact that most people aren't wired for endless small talk or grand entrances. They leave out the quiet, the quirky, the people who light up when the conversation turns to bird watching or robot vacuums. Instead of making you memorable, generic advice pushes everyone toward the same bland ideal. No wonder so many people feel invisible, or worse, convinced that personality is something you either have or you don't. It's time for something different. There's a big difference between having a personality and just having interests. A memorable personality isn't about being the loudest in the room or collecting hobbies like Pokemon cards. It's about having something that sticks in people's minds. A trait, a story, a quirk that becomes your label. Think back to childhood. When everyone had a nickname or a reputation, there was always the Harry Potter and Frog Facts kid, or the one who could draw perfect dragons from memory. Those labels weren't complicated. They were just what made someone easy to remember. Now meet Daniel. 3 years ago, Daniel hit a wall. He felt invisible, forgettable, the kind of person who blends into group photos and never gets tagged. He watched as everyone else seemed to have a thing. The guitar guy, the marathon runner, the trivia queen. Daniel wanted in. He made a quiet promise to himself, change how people saw him. Not by faking confidence, but by finding something real. He didn't know what it would be yet, only that he was tired of being the guy nobody remembered at reunions. The trick isn't to overhaul your whole life or invent a wild persona. It's to pick one thing, a single spike, and let it do the heavy lifting. That's what makes someone memorable, not for being perfect, but for being unmistakably themselves. Daniel's story starts with that decision, to stop chasing a personality and start building a spike. Daniel didn't start with some grand passion. He picked cleaning, partly because it felt manageable, partly because nobody else wanted it. He gave himself a month, set a timer for 45 minutes each day, and dove into the world of robot vacuums, microfiber science, and the difference between soap and detergent. 20 hours in, he could explain why vinegar ruins some surfaces and how to fix a jammed Roomba. That's all it took for friends to start calling him when their vacuums broke. The secret isn't about being world class. It's about being just a little more informed than everyone else in the room. Deliberate practice, those small, focused sessions, turns a random interest into a social superpower. Birding person learned to identify 50 local birds by sound and sight after 2 weeks of daily field walks and app quizzes. The cleaning guy started answering questions online, then teaching friends how to fold a fitted sheet. In almost every niche, 20 to 40 hours of targeted practice is enough to get noticed. The trick is sticking with it, even when it feels pointless. That's how a spike is built. At a friend's dinner party, Daniel found himself in the spotlight, not for small talk, but for his method of folding a fitted sheet. He broke down the steps, corners tucked and elastic smoothed until the sheet lay flat. Laughter followed, then a flood of laundry confessions. Daniel became the person everyone remembered. That's what a spike does. It turns a single skill into a calling card. The real magic, though, is making that skill easy for anyone to follow. Bill Nye made science approachable by swapping jargon for stories. Ivy League counselors say they look for applicants with a clear spike, someone who stands out even if it's competitive knitting or the science of Tetris. Thousands of testimonials from introverts and neurodivergent students echo the same thing. Sharing their deep interests or info dumps changed everything. What once felt odd became an asset. The secret is sharing in a way that invites others in. In documented surveys, over 3,000 viewers reported that adopting the spike method made them feel more confident and socially accepted. The evidence is clear. Memorability is not reserved for natural extroverts or those born with rare talents. Research shows that just 20 to 40 hours of deliberate practice in a personal interest can place anyone in the top 1% of conversational knowledge on that topic. Ivy League admissions documents confirm that distinctive spikes are actively sought in applicants, whether it's competitive knitting or expertise in cleaning technology. Yet, the precise long-term impact of this approach on career or lifelong relationships remains unstudied. What is certain is that the traditional advice, just be yourself, often leaves many behind, especially introverts and neurodivergent individuals. The archival record shows that a focused, accessible passion can open doors and transform social interactions. For now, the evidence supports a simple truth. Building a memorable personality is not a mystery, but a method anyone can follow.